maybe try out just no ammo type, because this is with no ammo. It's pretty good. I can shoot way faster. I forgot. High skill gun. So hello gamers, and welcome back to another video. The shotgun class is definitely one of the better classes in the game, and because we ranked every sniper conversion, I wanted to rank every single shotgun conversion as well. We'll just start it off with the default ammo types that are on every shotgun, and we'll use it on the KSG, because the KSG is just a pretty nice, pretty generic shotgun that just explains how the other shotguns work with these ammo types. Now our first ammo type is known as flechette. Now flechette actually increases your pen by I think 3 times. So in this case it goes from 0.5 to 1.5 studs. So if you want to be able to wallbang with a shotgun, it's a pretty good ammo type. However, the real downside of this is basically the spread is about the same, the velocity is the same. You do get a little bit better max damage range, which really doesn't matter too much. But the downside is you get a lot worse damage. In this case, you go from 32 to 25. Now this isn't too bad because it's still a 4 pellet kill, but that's because the KSG is very special. It's pretty much the only shotgun, this and the DBV-12 are the only shotguns that don't lose a pellet to kill when you're using flechette, but the other ones do. In fact, guns like the Saga take 5 out of 8 pellets instead of 4 out of 8, which is pretty bad and not really recommended because you'll one tap essentially just less. And the only upside is really that you can wallbang, but it's a shotgun. It doesn't really matter. You don't really need the ability to wallbang, but if you want it, flechette is the only ammo type in the game that allows that really. On the shotguns, the other ammo types actually lower your pen, except slugs, but slugs is a completely different thing. But next up we have birdshot. Now birdshot will reduce your maximum damage by about 20%. So in this case, you will do 24 damage, and it will actually lower your min damage by 50%, so you now do 6 damage at range, and it will also lower your velocity and make your ranges worse. The thing about this ammo type is that it's not too bad, but it's better on some shotguns than others. If you want more of a close range shotgun, then this will probably allow you to very effectively one tap in close range. As you can see, you have 16 pellets, but worse spread, worse velocity, worse damage, worse drop. It's a pretty interesting ammo type. It's not super great in my opinion, but if you want very consistent one taps in close range, even more consistent than usual, the KSG is pretty consistent, but some shotguns aren't as consistent. People will use it on the Saga 12, but your damage will be awful. But you will get 16 pellets, so if you want 16 pellets instead of 8, it's not really a bad ammo type. I'm not gonna lie, like, look at this. It's so loud too. Basically, it does 16 hit markers at one time, which just sounds absolutely ridiculous, and it's pretty fun. Flechette is gonna get a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's really that great, but birdshot will be getting a 7 out of 10. It's not great on a lot of shotguns, but it's not too bad overall. Then we have rubber pellets. Now, rubber pellets is absolutely atrocious. This will give you better headshot damage and better close range damage, but only by a little bit, but very bad ranges, very bad min damage, and worst of all, even though you get slightly more damage and 1 extra pellet, it actually has a 0.7 times torso multiplier, which basically, as you can see, 2 shots there didn't kill. The reason for this is because I'm actually doing 6 damage at this range, but I'm actually, in reality, because of the torso multiplier, doing about 4.2, and even in close range, I'm doing about 24 damage to the torso, which is the biggest hitbox and the hitbox that you always hit with a shotgun, because it's a shotgun, it's got spread, you're gonna go to the center of the body. It's not really gonna work in this case. It used to have kind of a niche, and they made it a little bit too good, and then they reworked it again, and now it's very bad. I do not recommend this at all. That did 22 in 2 hits. The reason for this is because it has a 45 to 54 stud damage ranges in this case, which means it basically drops from good, it's not really that good, but okay damage, down to 4.2 damage in 10 studs, which is just atrocious. And this is not good on any of the shotguns. Just don't use it. It's not good. The final ammo type is known as slugs, and slugs is pretty interesting. You do get a 1 shot to the head, and in some cases a 1 shot to the body. You get better pen, better suppression, better velocity, worse damage ranges, but a better torso multi and a way better headshot multi and way better damage per pellet, but you only get 1 pellet. This isn't too bad of an ammo type. However, since it's a 1 shot to the torso and not super far, about 30 studs in this case, and sometimes not at all, like the KSG is one of the few that can torso kill with this ammo type. Not everyone can, and as you can see, it's not even a 1-shot headshot at that range, which is 113 studs. Some revolvers can 1-shot from that far to the head, and yeah, it's kind of just like a weird sniper rifle that does have spread even with the 1 shot, which is annoying because slugs used to not have spread, then they made it have spread, so it's not really gonna 1-tap unless you're super close. Even there, that was a torso hit, didn't kill. Slugs used to be way better. I don't really recommend this too much on any of the guns. Some of the double barrels can actually 1-tap the head at any range, which is kind of cool, but they do have spread. It's not a very good ammo type. It's an alright ammo type. If you want a more consistent 1-tap when you hit your shots, pretty good, but the KSG kind of 1-taps a limb pretty easily to farther ranges than this, so I will be giving this one probably a 6 out of 10. I think birdshot is just kind of better at this point. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're gonna use an ammo type, use birdshot or use the default ammo. It's not really too bad, but like, use a sniper rifle. Like, sniper rifles have the better torso kill range and everything. Shotguns with slugs have good handling and stuff, but like, they just don't do the damage. So now we're past the default ammo types, and let's move on to some other ones. The first one is the extended tube on the Remington 870. This isn't necessarily an ammo attachment, but it will increase your magazine capacity on the Remington from 6 to 9. So basically from 7 to 10. It's not a lot more ammo, but it's actually pretty helpful, and I don't know why I don't use it. I don't think it changes your spread or anything like that. So I don't know why I don't use it, because it's kind of just a direct upgrade. You do get less reserve ammo, but like, who cares? You just have more in your magazine. Unless there's some other downside that I don't know about. This is a 10 out of 10 ammo type. I just don't use it at all. It doesn't even change your walk speed or your damage. And it also doesn't affect the reload speed. It kind of does because you have more bullets to load. So technically it takes longer, but like, it's a very good ammo type. And the only reason it takes longer is because it has more shells to load, which does that really count as a slower reload? I don't really think so, but yeah, it's a very good ammo type. Maybe I should use it. And the Remington is so good. If you guys didn't know from my top 5 shotguns, well, maybe watch my video on top 5 shotguns if you want to know how good I think the Remington is, because I put it pretty high. I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah, I think the Remington extended tube might be worth pre-buying if you want it, but it's really not too bad because the default ammo is like really not that much less than this is. Next up, we have the DBV, which has a lot of conversions, but not as much as some of the other shotguns in the game. But it only has 2 that we haven't covered already: 30-06 and 410 bore. 30-06 is a pretty interesting conversion because it is a semi-auto DMR. It can one-shot to the head in close range, actually to pretty far, and can 2-shot to the limbs, and I think 2-shot torso at any range, and 3-shot to the limbs at any range. Essentially, this is a very slow-shooting, fully automatic DMR with pretty good damage, and also has the least spread of any automatic gun in the game because it recenters so fast that it essentially has literally no recoil. The G11 kind of does what this does, but the G11 auto doesn't do anywhere near what this does, and it's actually a really good gun, but it's not a very good shotgun. So if you don't like this, I understand why, but it's good as a non-shotgun. If you want to use kind of a DMR, but you don't like semi-auto guns, this might be for you. It does very high damage. It can one-shot to the head to a decent range of like 120 studs. It's definitely better than the slug shotguns. It also has 20 rounds instead of 10. This ammo type definitely gets like a 9 out of 10. It's very good. But then you have 410 bore. Now 410 bore will give you a 3-shot burst. However, it will lower your pellets to 3 instead of 8. So essentially you get 1 extra pellet because the burst will give you 9 pellets, but way worse ranges and a lot of recoil. 410 used to be way better. It used to actually be able to kill with 1 of its shots. Now it needs at least 2 of its shots to land to actually kill a guy. Well, at least 1 shot and then 1 pellet from the second shot, which makes the damage not really that great. And it drops off pretty hard with the ranges and everything, down to 13 damage at like 80 studs, so it's not really that great. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, but it's very fun and very much worth checking out if you have the kills. I would not recommend pre-buying this ammo type because it's not really that great. The KS-23M has some ammo types, but most of them are not very great. I'll go over the ones that I don't think are very good pretty quickly, and the ones that I think are pretty good, I'll talk about it a little bit more. Harpoon is awful. It actually can't even one-shot limb at any range, which the cannonball cannon can have 50 bullets, so I don't really recommend this at all. If you want a very funny gun, it's decent, I guess, for that. Then you got 4 gauge, which is an awful ammo type. I don't know why 4 gauge reduces your damage because 4 gauge is massive. It should break your shoulder just to shoot this. This says it makes it perform more like a standard shotgun, and yes, it does. I don't know why you'd use this. The Remington is literally just this, but better. It reduces your damage, your velocity, your pen, your range. It's just not good at all. The Shrapnel 25 ammo is essentially just default ammo, but worse. I don't know why you would use this. It gives you better ranges, but way worse damage. Don't use this at all. Then you got Volna R, and Volna R is actually a slug ammo type that will one-tap to the limbs in pretty close range. It has a lot of drop though, but if you want kind of an old version of slugs, the regular ammo types birdshot slugs got removed from this gun because they were super busted. Slugs actually could one-tap to the limbs on this gun, and this can one-tap to the limbs, but it has about 700 velocity. It has very bad drop, and it can't torso kill past any like substantial range. Decent ammo type, I wouldn't say it's that great because the default ammo on this gun can pretty easily one-tap, and it's a shotgun, so it's way easier to use. But then we have Barricada, which is arguably a lot better. It has very good pen, very good velocity, and not the greatest torso kill range. However, it is basically a sniper rifle. It can one-shot to the head at any range, and it can one-shot to the torso in close range. Is it really that great? No, but if you want a slug ammo type, it's not the worst thing I've ever used. It can one-tap pretty effectively if you're hitting the head and the torso in close range. If you hit the limbs, it won't kill. So all these ammo types are literally awful. I'm gonna give them all like a 2 or 3 out of 10. Don't use them. They're bad. Volna Puma R is like a 6 out of 10, and Barricade is like a 8 out of 10. It's pretty good if you want a slug firing shotgun because 2,200 velocity, very good. Saga has way too many conversions. I actually have a full video on all the conversions in depth. If you want a new remastered version, let me know in the comments, but I'll go over these pretty quick. 223 is essentially a 40 round, pretty bad damage assault rifle. It's not really that great, but it's okay. I give this one probably a 7 out of 10. 9x19 is a burst, and it's fine, but the PPK-12 is just better. That's like a 7 out of 10. 7.62x39 is kind of a bad AK. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10 as well. The auto conversion is absolutely awful. Do not use it. It doesn't increase your RPM. All it does is make your gun have worse spread. That's all it does. It gives you full auto and makes your gun have worse spread. It doesn't increase your fire rate, so if you're using semi-auto, you can just click and get the same fire rate. It's so bad. 308 is like the old AG3. It's kind of a little bit better than the other ones. I give it an 8 out of 10 if you're pretty good with it. It shoots pretty slow, but it can 3-tap torso at any range, which is not too bad. Then you got 9.6x53mm Lancaster conversion, which is pretty much just a trash Scar SSR. It's very bad. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's usable, but not good. Then last up, you got 50 BMG, which gives you 1 bullet. This is the crosshair. So basically it has bloom up until that point, and even then it has a lot of spread. So it's basically like a slug that does one shot to the torso and one shot limb up close, and it does reload pretty fast. So I'd give this one probably a 6 out of 10 because it's kind of like a trash BFG. I think it fires slightly faster, which is kind of funny, but other than that, it's really not that great because it has spread and everything. You can kill people with it, which is pretty fun, but I think it's more of a meme ammo type. It's not too bad. Now the E-gun has heavy discs, light disc, and pennies, and these are pretty simple. Heavy disc will basically just give you worse drop but better damage, but at range you'll have worse damage. Light disc will give you better damage at range but worse damage up close and better drop. And pennies is funny because it will give you better velocity, way better ranges, but no pen, no suppression, and 4.5 damage. It will give you 50 rounds though. I give both heavy and light coil probably like an 8 out of 10 each because they're both very good for what they do. However, this absolute monstrosity of pennies, it's probably a 2 out of 10 because it's objectively like the worst ammo type on this gun and probably one of the worst ammo types in the game. It's also the most expensive ammo type in the game because it takes 10,000 kills to unlock, so it's like 8,000 credits to pre-buy this, and it's very bad but very funny. Next up, you got the A12, which has the 20 round drum ammo type. This gives it worse spread but 20 rounds and way slower walk speed and everything. I'm gonna give this one probably a 8 out of 10 because yeah, it's worth using, but it's actually not a direct upgrade anymore because it has the worst walk speed of all time. If you can't slide, you cannot use this gun, man. Unless you want to have this walk speed. The default ammo reloads a lot faster, has better reserve ammo, has better walk speed by a lot. Then you got another attachment known as pump action on the Spaz 12. It's not in the ammo types, but it is a conversion. Basically, what this will give you is way better spread. However, instead of having 200 RPM semi-auto, you have to pump the gun, and it shoots quite a bit slower, and it doesn't increase the damage. And basically, this is like a Remington 870 without the 3 pellet kill. But it does have better spread by quite a bit, and a bigger default too, but like by 2 shells. If you like being able to one-tap more on a shotgun, I would recommend this. It doesn't have the best damage, but it has pretty good spread, and it's the Spaz 12. The Spaz 12 is a fun gun in like any game, so yeah, it's pretty good. I'd give this one probably a 9 out of 10. It's very good, but maybe not the best. But anyways, gamers, that's actually gonna do it for the video. That is every single shotgun conversion in Phantom Forces. I didn't go into super depth on some of the Saga conversions, so if you want to see a video on that remastered version, let me know in the comments and I will. And the KS23M, those conversions kind of suck, except the 2 slug ammo types. Those ones are kind of cool. Overall, I would recommend definitely maybe use birdshot on a couple of shotguns, maybe use flechette, and other than that, I just really wouldn't recommend too much. Maybe slugs if you want it, but yeah, on basically every shotgun I use the default ammo because the default ammo is basically the best one. It just does everything really good. For the shotgun ammo types, it has the best spread basically, and it has pretty much the best velocity of all of them, and there's really not a lot of downside to using it. I don't understand why people try to use an ammo type on their shotguns all the time. If you want to try them out, some of them are pretty good, but like what people need to realize about this game is that even though you can select an ammo type, you don't have to. Most very good or even best setups on a gun don't even include an ammo type because you don't really need one. Don't use tracerless, it's useless. Even if you got the kills, it's not really worth it. Maybe try out just no ammo type because this is with no ammo. It's pretty good. I can shoot way faster, I forgot. High skill gun. Anyways, gamers, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and sub. Let's go for 50 trillion likes on the video, but I will see you guys in the next one. Bonk. Peace.